vote for today. We've been kind of on a theme here the past several days and want to continue on that theme. We've talked about our societal rot and everything that's been going on. And we've talked about God's role, our role, the role of the home and everything. But what is the church's role? Does the church truly have a role? And yes, it does. Now, we're beginning to see a lot of bad patterns with the church, that we see church attendance is declining greatly. I mean, that has been happening for quite a while, but people are not taking the church seriously. The church has hurt itself in many ways. But what is the church's role in this? Again, the home, God, everything has a role, but the church is the dispensary for God. The church is the place where we come to hear God's message, where we come to have the sacraments distributed correctly. It is the place where we come to fellowship and enjoy God's presence with one another. The fellowship of the saints, the communion of the saints, not just the communion of the sacrament, but also the communion with one another and the communion with God. Here's another thing. The church is the place where you need to bring your family to be a complete and a whole family. And this is one of the problems we have in society. If you're not bringing your children to the house of God, you're doing them a disservice, and you're showing them that, the church, God, that's not that important to you. If you'd rather go shopping or bowling or whatever on Sunday morning or whenever you attend church, if you'd rather do that, then you are trying to show them, or maybe you are showing them, that God's not that important in your life. And then one day they may show you that God's not important in their life. And we wonder why our children don't show up. You have to bring them. You have to teach them. It has to start at the home, but also you need to come. They need to see what's happening. Bring them to the house of God. Let them be participants. Children are not the church of the future. They are the church right now. They are the church now. Yes, they are the adults of the future and that thing, but the church plays a role. The church also plays a role in education. That's why Sunday school is so important. That's why Bible studies are so important. This is why pastors are so important, to have somebody who can be the resident theologian. Not everybody has, a degree in theology, and unfortunately, most pastors don't today. But it's so important to have somebody who has studied, who has learned, who knows some things. I don't go to a doctor, who just somebody says to go to, unless I know this doctor has some credentials, has done some study. I'm not going to trust them. The church plays a great role in our lives, and it used to be the center of our lives, and it should be the central place for the social part of our lives and for our learning, our training, and our growing in God. And we need to come together again to love, to care for one another. It's not an entertainment place. I'm sorry. I know if you got to have smoke machines and all that, then I'm sorry. That's not the church as far as I'm concerned. If you think that's church, then great, have at it. But really, the church is a place to bring people who are hurt, who are broken. And we need to be willing to have people come. When we say that the doors are open to everyone, we need to mean that. We truly need to mean that. Don't say welcome everyone unless you really mean it, because you never know who might walk through those doors. But the church has a great role today, and we need to get that back. The church needs to start being the church, doing the work of the church, doing the things that the church is called to do. And you know what? I think the church will start to see people come back, and we'll start to see things happen. But if we're going to be a joke, if we're going to play games and do a lot of things that the church has done, then we're going to continue to decline. But the church has a great role and a place in the lives of the community and in God's